Where'd that come from? I mean, I'm saying I don't like it, but just got a little hip-hop flavor, T. It's more of a classic rock kind of vibe today. Hey, it worked for me. Rocking. It takes two, man. All right, early hip-hop. One more guest spot today before we call it good. This should be fun. Ian Cass on Twitter. Ian Castleberry writes for The Comeback. Covers sports, covers pop culture. Get a couple minutes of thoughts out of him on our sports movie bracket and whatever else we feel like throwing at Ian. Thanks for hopping on the radio here in Arkansas this morning. How are you, Ian?
I'm doing great. Enjoying the old school hip-hop there.
Me too.
I'm a Run DMC guy, though. How about you?
I mean, yeah, how can you not be? Got to be top five
Right.
most influential hip-hop bands of all time, no matter how you're looking at it. We had them. Where did we have them, guys? We had them at third. Yeah, had to be. Had to be. I'm a Beastie Boys guy, number one, by a thread over Outkast. Then we had DMC third. Who's your number one kind of hip-hop collective, if you would, Ian?
Oh, gosh. Well, yeah, I think I'd have to put Run DMC up there. I mean, they were probably the first hip-hop group I listened to, actually. But, I mean...
Give me another contender or two out of Ian Castleberry, yeah. Hip-hop collective that you fancied a little bit.
Away here. I don't know.
Wu-Tang. We got a little Fugees out of Jersey, where I'm from. Gotta love it.
Yeah, gosh. Fat Boys.
Yes. There you go. Some Southern flavor there. De La Soul, Long Island. What about NWA and Public Enemy? They made movies about those groups. Man, everybody knows those groups. People paid money to go eat popcorn and hear the story of NWA and Public Enemy in the movie theater. Can you believe that? That's awesome.
Yeah, that was the stuff we listened to in my friend Scott's basement. You know, we weren't allowed to listen to that stuff, but...
Biggie and Tupac back in the day. You know, I put that stuff on now. My wife's like, you better be careful. Your daughter hears that. I'm not going to be happy with you. I'm like, okay. All right, here we go, Ian. Ready? Sports movies. What do you think? Rocky or Karate? We'll go through the regional finals with you. Rocky or Karate Kid? These are the two movies in the tough guys region. Then I got a curveball question in each region for you, okay? Rocky or Karate Kid? Just accept the results as they are. We know how we got here. What's the better all-time sports movie, Rocky or Karate Kid, the underdog?
Rocky's not just the better sports movie, it's the better movie. Rocky's just a great movie. I mean, it's a Best Picture winner. It's like about life.
Yep.
Rocky Balboa kind of down in the dumps and showing that, you know, any challenge can be overcome. I can see why Karate Kid appeals to a lot of people, especially people of a certain age. You know, we grew up with Karate Kid. We could relate to Daniel LaRusso and coming of age in high school and getting bullied and
How old are you, Ian? How old are you?
I'm in my 40s. You
don't have to laugh about it. I'm in my 40s, too. We can just accept it. It's okay. You know, I mean, just because you're in your 40s, you sound like you're sad and laughing about it. You'll be okay, Ian. You'll be okay. No,
okay.
I'm kidding with you. I'm just trying to take the... It is sad that we're in our 40s on a side note, isn't it?
Sometimes I'm okay with it. I have to admit, though, when I turned 40, I did not handle it very well, but I have settled in a couple of years later.
Oh, my goodness, Ian, you stole the show with that line, didn't you? Sometimes I'm okay with it. That's one of the classics. I'm going to quote that on the show forever. Ian Castleberry from The Comeback on being in your... I know I asked you a weird question, but you did so good with it. Because you laughed it off in this funny way. I'm like, it's okay. We'll be okay. Because I'm still coming to terms with it, too. I just turned 40 last December, and it's really hard to wrap my head around.
You made it feel like a safe place, so, you know, I just...
Well, thank you. That was a really nice thing that you said, but I'm not exaggerating. The fact that when I threw it back at you, like, how does it make you feel? And you said, sometimes I'm okay with it. I feel the same way. Sometimes you look up. Do you have kids?
I don't have kids.
Okay, well, look, then you're younger than me.
I feel much differently.
Yeah, you're younger than me, really. Because once you have kids, every year is like dog years, brother. The people listening with kids know exactly what I'm talking. All right, Ian, you're awesome. Let's keep going. Ready? Rocky over Karate Kid. You made it sound not even competitive, even though both movies spawned major franchises. It's not a bad Elite Eight final. How about a movie we missed in each region? Warrior. I watched that yesterday with my wife. What an underrated movie Warrior is. What do you think about Warrior? What do you think of... Yeah!
I love Warrior. I remember I saw Warrior in the theater, and it was a Saturday afternoon. There were like three people in the theater. And I thought, this movie is probably going to be a flop, you know, and I don't think it did well in the box office, but it's so good. I mean, not just the fighting. I mean, you have Tom Hardy, just jacked up before he played Bane. Joel Edgerton's in there. Frank Grillo as Joel Edgerton's trainer.
Yeah.
That was like one of the great early Frank Grillo roles, too.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about that film. That is truly a great sports movie. And then you have the stuff going on between the brothers and the family.
I know.
Nick Nolte.
The scene with them on the Jersey Shore, Atlantic City at Trump Casino, the lights in the background, Joel Edgerton, the young Russell Crowe cat. He looks so much like Crowe. They're both Australian. But does he not hold his own with Tom Hardy? That is just such an epic movie. And Nolte, the alcoholic dad. There's just so many overtones in that. Much like you said, Rocky, there's so many overtones in Warrior that I relate to. I have a brother. We're fiercely competitive, sometimes estranged. Welcome to real life, like you said earlier, Ian. Welcome to real life. Yeah. And that's really the sign of a great movie. Any movie that makes you think about your life a little bit is a good movie.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, again, we were talking with Karate Kid. We can relate to that based on the time in our lives and when we saw that movie, people of our age in their 40s, or even people who see it now, I think can relate to it. But I mean, yeah, movies like Rocky, like Warrior, I mean, they speak to bigger issues of family, of persevering through life. That's the stuff great movies are made of.
Hey, even if I made put Warrior in the field like it should have been against Rocky in a 116, because most people don't know Warrior like you do, but it still would have got beat. It would have been a very entertaining first-round game, Ian. But I still feel like...
Rocky would still beat it.
Okay, just checking. All right, real quick, to keep moving here, because I only got like 2 more minutes with you, I'm going to give you folks a quick feel for the regionals this week. American Dream region, Field of Dreams or Hoosiers, which is the better movie. 2 very different, and yet both troubled in their own way. All these movies have people with issues in them. I think it's why we like them so much. Field of Dreams or Hoosiers, what do you...
First of all, I don't know if I would have picked Field of Dreams over Bull Durham in the previous round, but I understand. Again, we're talking about movies that are life, right? Field of Dreams, I mean, and that just hits all men in the chest, your relationship with your father and how much baseball means to you. So I understand why that's a 1 seed. But I think Hoosiers, if we're talking about purely about sports movies and about, what basketball means to that region, the state of Indiana, Gene Hackman and Dennis Hopper, 2 all-time performances.
Yeah, Hackman is just extraordinary in that role because he's not a great guy. He's not a great guy in that movie. He is a troubled figure himself, right? Man.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Well, that's why Hackman was such a great actor. He could play such a range from good to bad and everything in between.
Don't we miss Gene Hackman? I mean, he hasn't been in movies for so long.
Yeah, but he's like 90-something now. It's kind of like, do we miss Jack Nicholson? I would say the answer is no. They're forever young on the screens now, Ian. That's where it is.
That's a good point.
I don't think I need to see him 95 years old on the screen. I think that might hurt our feelings. I think it would hurt their feelings a little bit with their egos, probably. All right, so Hoosiers over Field of Dreams. That's a great argument there, by the way. I've been a little neglectful of Hoosiers in this bracket challenge, Ian, only because I've seen it 500 times, and I just...
Yeah, I think that's a good case for why it's such a good sports movie. You take it for granted.
True.
It's the standard in so many ways.
Yeah, well argued. All right, and then real quick, 2 more. We have in the Gridiron region, Gridiron Gangs, Remember the Titans or Rudy? To me, that's a no-brainer. What do you think?
That's a no-brainer. I'm going to go with Remember the Titans.
Good.
I'm a little biased against Rudy because I hate Notre Dame.
Yeah. Me too. Welcome to the club here. They had a football game with Arkansas 2 years ago. They canceled it at the last second.
I understand. I cried watching Rudy too, and then also cried at my crying because I just hated myself for being touched by a movie about Notre Dame football.
It's definitely Remember the Titans with Denzel ripping it up in that rockin' soundtrack. And then last but not least, Major League or the Cinderella of the tournament in the Elite Eight, Sandlot. What's the winner of that one?
I hate to end Cinderella's run here, but Major League is one of my all-time favorite sports movies. And between that and Bull Durham, I think that's an argument that we could go on for hours as to what's a better movie. But there's so many memorable lines in Major League, some of which I can't say on the radio here.
Right.
I just think that there's so many memorable characters that live on. I know Sandlot has memorable lines too, but just Ricky Vaughn, Lou Brown, the manager. I am so fond of Major League. I probably quote that movie once every couple of weeks. I go with Major League here.
Did you grow up in Michigan or what?
Yeah, I did. Grew up in Ann Arbor.
So Wolverines all the way, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that where you went for school?
I actually went to Iowa, so I'm a Big Ten guy all the way around.
Turncoat to your hometown. Nice move, brother. Well done.
Yeah, that was not popular in the family.
You're hilarious, man. Ian Cass, we have to do this again. So honest and real about the sports movies out there. That's the Elite Eight. If you had to pick a champ out of all those, we got 20 seconds. What would your champ be?
It's really tough to choose.
Do you want to take some time to think about it? We'll call you in 2-3 weeks when we're closing it out.
Okay. Yeah,
all right, good deal.
I appreciate that.
All right, Ian. Thanks for being on the radio. I thought he was tremendous. Break, come back. Ian Cass ripping it up.